and lost, I guess, in that shuffle is Josh Jacobs in the same boat with the Raiders, and he was the leading rusher of the entire league last year. So is that in the same, dumpster right now that's on fire?
Same idea, but not as much noise. And I think the Raiders less inclined to do a long-term deal. Pay the 10-1, have him be your guy again for another year, let him go do his thing. There was a thought when Josh McDaniels became the head coach that what we would see from the Raiders is what we've seen from the Patriots, where you've got multiple running backs. Who gets the ball, who's involved in the offense is driven by game plan and defense, and not, hey, we've just got a workhorse that we're going to use over and over again. I won't be surprised if they don't do a long-term deal and intend to keep him for one more year. And, hey, Rich, once Dalvin Cook became available, I threw out the idea that maybe Josh Jacobs should do what Tony Pollard did and accept that $10.1 million. Because until you accept it, the team can yank it like Josh Norman found out a few years ago, and they can just go sign Dalvin Cook for 1 year. All right, Josh Jacobs wants 10-1. Well, we can get Dalvin Cook for 8 or 9. Let's just do that for 1 year if we're only going to keep Josh Jacobs for one more year anyway. That's in theory something that could be done, and I think that Jacobs should be far more nervous about that than Barkley. I can't imagine the Giants doing that with Barkley.
Right.
But it wouldn't shock me if the Raiders did it with Josh Jacobs.
Wow. Where do you think is that part of the reason why Cook hasn't jumped at whatever offers reportedly on the table from Miami, or just it makes no sense to do that right now? What do you think?
I think Cook and DeAndre Hopkins, the two big-name free agents, are both doing the same thing. They're just waiting. There's no rush to do anything now. No one has made them an offer that they can't or won't refuse. So let's just wait and see what happens, whether it's into training camp, whether it's right when training camp starts, whenever it may be. I mean, at some point you got to show up in practice to get yourself ready, but they both got the luxury of time. And you can't – I mean, I wouldn't rule out that possibility. Hell, the Bengals, if they wanted to, and I don't think this has started yet, but if the Bengals wanted to, if they're trying to squeeze Joe Mixon to take less, they could start flirting with Dalvin Cook and say, hey, Joe, you don't want to take less. We'll give the reduced offer that we would otherwise give to you to Dalvin Cook, and we'll just swap out Dalvin Cook for Joe Mixon. So, I mean, that's the other problem with the running back position. It's interchangeable parts. There's too many guys out there that can play at a high level, rookies and veterans. It gets back to why they struggle to get the value that they truly bring to the table.
So it's just the fact that running back might be, I'll use the word easier to succeed at, easier to learn a playbook, easier to see the hole and be patient than, I guess it's more skilled to play receiver and quarterback and left tackle, and more skilled that you can't find the young kids to blossom and succeed so quickly in the draft, that the running back position, is that the issue here? Like, just putting it all together, that's why running backs are more replaceable, fungible, however you want to put it, and we're in this position with guys who are absolutely one of your first-round draft selections in your fantasy league, but in the NFL, it's just like, okay, Mixon, you're out. Cook, you're in. Cook, you're out. Madison, you're in. Eckler, you can go seek a trade if you want, and if not, we'll just flip you a few more bucks and you can come back. Is that the reason why we're in the position we're in?
That's basically it. I mean, the skills are more rare at quarterback. Obviously, there aren't enough good quarterbacks to go around. Hell, there aren't enough bad quarterbacks to go around. Receiver is kind of becoming like running back, because all those 7-on-7 camps that are done at high school and college level, you've got all those quarterbacks throwing all those passes. Guys are catching them. They're running routes and they're catching them. They're getting better. So we're seeing more and more successful receivers come out, and it could go the way of the running back at some point. But at least – and see, this is one of the arguments that I know we focus so much on the passing game, so the guys part of the passing game get paid more. But a running back, a good running back, still affects the team more than a good receiver does.
No doubt.
He's touching the ball more often, especially if he's involved in the passing game. But it's that simple. So the best athletes should be playing a different position. When Jim Brown died, I had this thought, what if there was another talent like Jim Brown, who was just great at everything he did, lacrosse, football, anything, everything, would he be a running back or would he be a quarterback in today's NFL?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, the way the game has gone, you take that great – you just give him the ball and Pop Warner and say, go, you get him to a different position because that greatness can manifest itself in a more rare skill set that you develop over time and you play in the NFL for 15 to 20 years instead of 3, 4, 5 years.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.